Hey.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was just stuck on like 26 for me the whole time.
Okay. Well,
Oh my god. Don't end recording. We'll just ah!
let's just go. Let's go with it. That's fine. Hey, guys.
Hey guys. Him, hers, thems, and whatevers.
And everything in between. This
Indeed.
is Alphabet
Alphabet
Corner.
corner.
Oh.
What is rehearsal? Couldn't tell you.
Not a whole hour and a half of not actually working.
Oh no, we were working. We
No,
were
I mean like
working.
I know I was being sarcastic. We're working on getting this together, and
As soon as we
uh,
punched that clock, we were working here. As you can tell, we have new looks that we're trying out.
this is our animated Alphabet Corner.
All started because I was a little curious about how PNGtubers really work. Because the other stuff is more complicated. I don't have an iPhone, do all that motion tracking stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let's go and look at the easy way. They're kind of cute, and yeah, we found a way to do
It was all Theo.
it.
I could not have done it without him. As our customers like to tell us, I'm not tech savvy. I'm tech illiterate.
I am technology. I like when they say they're tech literate, and it's like, oh, good, you know what you're doing. So please do this. And like, what? And I'm like, I'm just kidding. I know what you actually meant. The only quote unquote tech literate people who need direction like those people is the people who call up saying, I'm a computer, I got a PhD in computer science, blah, blah. I'm
Ugh.
like, great, when what? Alan Turing was alive?
Before the floppy disk.
They can keep their floppy disk away from me.
So
Yes.
we are the alphabet portion of diverse roulette.
That's right. And happy Pride Month, as you can tell, or however that one TikTok in goes. What was it? Happy Pride Month.
What?
She
I
says
haven't
it's
seen that
so.
yet.
She says it's so weird. It's not a new one. She did a new one for this year too, but it's like a candle shop or a butter shop or something. She's pretending to be because she
Really?
starts off with like, "Hi, gay. It's another Pride Month here at the butter shop or something." Trying to make fun of Target and Kohl's and every other
Dude, this
corporation out there.
mess that's going on with Target right now, how ridiculous.
I know. I mean, they kind of got really set up for it too because you know who really whet the appetites of these interesting people is it was Budweiser because
Hmm.
they're like, okay, we're gonna go transpositive early. It wasn't Pride Month yet. The country had not already bared down and was ready
Prepared
for it
themselves.
there,
But
because
the thing
God
is, okay,
forbid anyone celebrate being alive.
before a single month, like, okay, first of all, I exist outside of Pride Month. Okay? Get
Right,
used to
I
it.
help you maximize profits.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but one of my friends, and I won't name them, they were thankful that Target had lost billions of dollars because of this. And I was
And
like,
the worst part is the main controversy was over the tuck friendly bathing suit. That just means extra fabric, which means if you got a more pronounced who hot down there, that's helpful. It wasn't anything about specifically, this is where you're going to tuck your wiener in.
Right.
It was just,
Like, it's doing away with camel toe, and nobody wants to see that shit.
right.
Maybe the straight guys do. I don't know.
Maybe some people do. Maybe that's a thing for some people.
If anything,
But
I thought it would make women feel more comfortable.
exactly. I
But
mean, it.
I get, like, I mean, I don't get it, but I understand where some people are coming from, because they're like, oh, I don't want to introduce my children to this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you see the flags, steer clear.
Right. If you're not ready for change, or for your very already malleable children who can easily learn that it's okay not to be exactly what I say you're supposed to be, because the rest of the world is mostly not you. It's usually like some crazy 99.9999999 forever kind of
Right.
thing. uh, sure, uniqueness isn't all that. There's a lot of not uniqueness, especially as we become more interconnected in this data age here. But I mean,
But the thing is, like,
everyone is different. The point
nobody
is,
is telling you have to buy these things. That's
right, you don't have to
my
buy
biggest
these
point is,
things. Your kids aren't going to be frightened or confused by this stuff, because if your kid doesn't want to wear a women's or a female presenting bathing suit, a onesie like that, or whatever you call them, then your child doesn't have to wear one.
right, and there's there's all these other options out there. Like, I would understand if this was the only option that they were providing and being upset about that, because they didn't have gender norm options, but they did.
Right.
Like, they
I mean, would have I don't know. Could do you think they could have gotten away with a bunch of very male presenting mannequins like they stuffed that into like speedos? Do you think we'd be having the same problem, or would it just be another eye roll?
right. It'd probably be just another eye roll, but
They'd be like,
uh,
"Oh, they're at it again," but no, this time it involved something that was trans inclusive.
and it's ridiculous that in 2023 we're having to fight for our spot at the table as queer folks. Like, it's just it's ridiculous. We
We shouldn't be having discussions about human rights in this day and age here. The country was only founded, couple centuries ago, give or take
Mhm.
50 years plus. Oh my
Wasn't it like in
gosh.
1620 or something like that?
The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1779.
Yeah, but the country was found. Okay, so the Declaration of Independence
That's
was
what most
the book.
people start citing it as there,
Oh,
because that's when we separated ourselves.
okay.
Well, the rest, I'm not a history buff, but yeah, 1779. It's plastered everywhere. There was a school that someone I knew attended in Tennessee at 1779 Independence Way or something crazy like that. I was like, okay, I saw what they did there. Okay, I wonder how many of the people around actually knew what that was. Probably most of the adults, I'd say. It was a nice area. But anyway, it's we've been going on about this here. We're talking about they talk about gender norms. The norm was everything, honestly, for centuries. There's evidence everywhere. Sure, we talked about the Greeks in the other episode and such, and other things, and in the Bible and such. But it goes beyond that. We have the indigenous cultures of our country who had
Mhm.
like two spirit and such.
Right.
We have the Katoi over in Southeast Asia. I can't remember the country offhand for the moment. It's probably like Thailand, and they serve a like almost like a religious importance, because it was a bridge between the two reproducing genders,
Mhm.
the main reproducing ones at least. Um, and they were even seen as like conduits for like ancestors and spirits and such too. So yeah, it's and then let's not even get started about not heterosexual relationships in the animal kingdom.
No,
it's a poor argument there said by too many mouths.
but like even like in the 1800s, like trans people were cited like in Europe. Like I mean, they made them go to the insane asylum, but still, like we've been around. It's not like it's like it's nothing new.
Absolutely not. Yeah, there have been trans individuals and homosexuals and everything else in between for forever. I mean, those old spinster ladies and stories who refused to marry or have any romantic relationships, ace or a romantic. I mean, you have your examples everywhere. And some people refuse and they're like, oh, this is new. No, the terms used now are new, but the concept and the actual I hate to say the word because people think lifestyle and think it's a choice. Some people, yeah, want to choose to live. So actually, yeah, lifestyle makes sense because it's lifestyle, or do you want them to be stylish in death? And obviously, these people are choosing they want them to be stylish in death.
And here's something that I like that I just picked up here is the public universal friend was an American preacher born in Cumberland, Rhode
Oh
Island,
yeah, I
to
like that one.
Quaker parents after suffering a severe illness in 1776. The friend claimed to have died and been reanimated as a
1776.
genderless evangelist named the Public Universal Friend. And they
And
were,
correction on my earlier statement: 1776 is when the Declaration of Independence was signed.
which is funny because I mean,
Another a common example there at the same time as our country's founding too. So yeah, parallels.
but like, it's what comes back to is why does it bother you so much to have equality? Like, why does it bother you? What harm is it doing to you?
Exactly. It's like people who are like it's like prejudice and such. There, it's it's like the treatment of what we'd call black people. Okay,
Right?
um, because they were marginalized, they were enslaved, they were less than human. What was it? It was something, some disgusting thing. Like it was like if you had a slave, each slave was like one fraction of a
A
vote
third of a
more.
third of a person.
Exactly, disgusting. So yeah, it's like that. There, they are seeing anyone who isn't them
Heteronorm,
is less
white.
than human or not even real. It's almost like these people are treating other people as fake. Like they are not actually people. There are no consequences for doing this to them there because they're not another human soul. Uh, which is
But how
disgusting to
unintelligent must you
devalue
be?
someone.
Like, how unintelligent must you be, though, to think any one person's any less than you or anybody else? Like, it really does show someone's intelligence level to think that other people are any less than them.
And their quote moral values. What kind of morals devalue another human life?
Exactly. I mean, the Bible is full of examples, but
Right. All these gods of love preach and hate. It doesn't make sense. It sounds like a false human construct uh, that they have
women have
built
rights.
around
What?
these. deities.
So I'm excited for Pride. I'm going to a
The one by
Pride
you.
in this area
Hmm.
on the 10th, and I'm pretty excited for it.
Oh, is that the weekend of Father's Day?
Probably, who knows?
Probably.
Did you know the unofficial Pride Day at a certain amusement park near us, about an hour north of us,
Hmm.
the popular one,
Yeah.
uh, is Father's Day?
Oh yeah, and didn't you have a good story about that once?
I did. Did I tell it on Diverse Roulette before or no?
You might have, but give us a summary.
So basically, it was Father's Day, unofficial Pride Day, and guy came in. He was one of the first people into the park, and at the end of the day, like literally, we're getting ready to close down the entire park. Comes into guest services where I worked and proceeded to yell and complain that we subjected him and his family to gay people holding hands and other things. I'm like, we did no such thing. He's like, they're all over the place. If I knew they were here, I would have come today with my family. Okay, they're allowed to come to the park too. Like, we don't discriminate.
They weren't a featured attraction.
Well, then there should have been some kind of sign. Well, it was not our park's sanctioned event, and like he was getting all violent and like threatening. And actually, at one point, he did. I don't remember I mentioned this before, but he did talk about going to the parking lot and waiting for me in the parking lot. And
He
like
just wanted to kiss you.
I had to keep a smile on my face the whole time. I'm like, this is great, threaten me all you want. But long story short, um, he wanted a refund for his family's tickets. I said no. He got violent. I pressed the secret security button that we had. I used my thigh to press up against it. Um, my team lead, my supervisor, or my manager, and one of the CEOs of the company ended up coming in while I was dealing with this guy. And finally, he got escorted off the premises and forced to leave the park. And I looked at my boss. I was like, "Can I go on break?" I still had like an hour left because the park was closing down, but it was still I had an hour left. I was like, "Can I go on break?" And I had to smile my way through the park while tears running down my face. So that was quite the experience.
Yeah. People are insane.
Oh, it's ridiculous. The number of things that I've experienced in my 35 years of young life. It's astounding. Like the things like me and my ex, we were walking through the town square of this place where he was living, and we got chased by a group of homophobes. And like we weren't even holding hands, like or anything like that. Like we were just there, and apparently they realized we were a gay couple. Um, I've been fired for being gay more than once.
Isn't that still legal in like
Some
30,
states.
like some states?
I mean, states can fire you at will. There's like
Yeah.
several states that can fire you at will, and there are protections to help prevent it. But up until 2015, it was near impossible to fight it.
Hmm.
But one job I worked for 5 years in a row, like five, like it was a place I worked. It was like a seasonal job, and I had worked there, and I was next in line to be promoted to uh not the top of the food chain, but like basically I was gonna be. It was a summer camp, just because it's gonna be easier to explain. It was a summer camp, and I had been a counselor. I had been a instructor. Like I was director of the canoeing. Like I was in charge of that part. And I would like the next year I was next in line to be boys director, like in charge of the boys camp side of things. Like,
Right,
because they was
right,
split, like girls were on one side, guys were on the other.
right. Girl cabins, guys cabins. Yeah,
So like all the counselors would have,
reported to you.
reported
Yeah.
to me. Yeah. And that year before, my last year before I became boys director, um, the pastor who was the director of the camp, because it was a Christian camp, came up to me. Someone had told him, mind you, I was still in the closet,
Mm-hmm.
and so he had found out. We're not going to explain how, because I know how he found out, but we're not going to talk about that.
Mm.
And he explained to me that I could not return the next year if I was not going to renounce, or what's the word, reject being gay.
Mm.
Which, I mean, I guess I could have rejected it, but like I would have been lying to myself. And I was still in
Yeah.
the closet, first of all. Like I wasn't like out and open. He told me not to basically reapply.
Ah, okay.
Is what it came down to. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I've worked
Essentially, don't reapply so we don't have to reject you.
pretty much, and that was like one of the hardest things I ever had to deal with. Like, because I had kids that had been my cat, like they were in my cabin for all 5 years. Like they were cub campers, and each year they came back, they asked for me to be their counselor. Like I had kids who confided in me like about things, and like I felt like I was a good counselor. I was there for the like I never did anything wrong, so it was just it's weird that my avatar is blinking. Like but like it hurts a lot, and the fact that we have stuff like that happening in this country is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's it's all these false. It's all this false, or in some cases, even just pseudoscience stuff here that serve specific agendas. Uh, I think we talked about previously, like aversion therapy uh, and conversion therapy. Um, I don't know if we did or if I was that was a different discussion I had elsewhere, but that was all based off of like a group of essentially self-hating gays. Um, and it started with one group. They're like Loving Hands or some kind of thing like that, as what their name was. Sounds great and all. Um, but they're like, okay, we're gonna start the pray the gay away. So that was the first instance of let's pray the gay away. Obviously, it wasn't working.
Right.
So they essentially resorted to cult/interrogation methods. Uh, and then people would sign their kids away, and they'd go through the conversion therapy, quote unquote, which doesn't work. Um, surprise, surprise, threatening people doesn't actually change their genetic and makeup and their nature versus nurture upraising. But anyway, yeah, so they went with that, and then they had this scummy doctor who he's like, oh, money? Yeah, sure. What do you want me to say? Okay, yeah, let's start showing them, like, homosexual pornography and
Yeah.
then administering shocks to them for aversion therapy, quote unquote.
Which is ridiculous.
Uh-huh. Or they be showing what kind of sicko. Okay, so it's already discussing that you think people need to change for something that doesn't hurt anyone and has nothing to do with their soul. Because if you claim that, oh, it goes against God's, no, because God has gay animals. God made this person this way. Who are you to defy the person you hail as an omnipotent, omnipresent, all-loving being? Why would someone create someone just to be hated? So let's just dispel that now.
Right.
And moving forward,
If dolphins, penguins, monkeys, and dogs,
right,
all,
and
even
lions and
geese. Did you know
dolphins
there's a group of geese?
recreationally.
There's I forget the type of geese that it is, but there's a geese where the males the will sometimes you'll have like two males that are their mates, they're their primary mates, and then they will reproduce. They're polyamorous,
Mhm.
but they will select one female to be the mother of their offspring.
Surrogate,
Hmm.
kind of. Yeah.
But like the other geese will look up to those geese, that polyamorous group, and in the hierarchy, they are at the top of the hierarchy.
Okay, you can find out what kind of geese those are. That's actually quite interesting. Um, but what was I going to say next here? Um, but yeah, in even give you an example that doesn't have to do with like um, homosexuality. So we all have seen all the videos for years of like cats taking in like chickens, little chicks, when like they're alone or their mother dies, or I mean, and other example, there are countless examples of animals taking in other species, even if they're predators taking in prey animals or vice versa. So if you want to talk about differences still working there, let's talk about the ones where they're supposed to be eating each other.
Hmm.
And they still take care of them. They raise them. They don't eat them when they get older. They have a familial love for each other because they raise them. They take care of them. So if you need examples of people or things that are different that go against what your either upbringing or what you may have learned in school or your assumptions you've already created say, science and reality both have examples of things that you think don't work actually work.
Right.
Or to put it in more modern terms, some people already acknowledge that pineapple can belong on pizza. Not every pizza.
I love pineapple on pizza.
And you don't have to eat pineapple on pizza either. Whether it's not ordering it or partaking in it, hint, hint, or if you're not a completely prudish prick, just pick the pineapple off. The rest is still good. And if you think it's too sweet, look at all the sugar in your sauce. This is America. Sugar's in everything. Squeeze
It's
you.
everywhere. Oh my god.
It is everywhere, just like homosexuals and trans people. Everywhere. It's been here. It's been around. It's been in this not just this country, but this land for millennia. Just because something has a different name doesn't mean it's different.
Did you see that homophobic guy who made the shirt "Make America Straight Again"?
I've seen those shirts.
And it's MA. It's MASA. Really did not think that through.
Massa.
Yes, massa.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, first off, that's what you call a double whammy. Give me 1 second here.
Ooh. That wins the a nice row on dumb shit straight people do. Bingo.
Bingo. Dumb shit bingo. It's just so, and first of all, you thought this through. You put this in there. You're like, hey, how can I be homophobic and racist?
Right.
You couldn't have looked at that and not thought about that. Like,
I don't know. They could put it behind a swastika and get a trifecta. Swastika, MASA. Just
horrible.
repeating. Oh, sorry. I have to laugh at the vial or I'm going to cry.
It's horrifying. Like, sometimes I have actually, like, gone to bed. Like, I'm not much of a crier, but sometimes I think about the state of our world and I'll cry. Like, I'm like, when are they going to start hunting us?
I was doing that as a child, honestly. Because the news was there, newspapers were there, people still knew how to read back then. I used to cry myself to sleep, like, what the hell's going on? Not just for the plight of, my own problems here, but everything else. It's like, okay, I can't go on living like this. This is crazy. And you can probably tell where that probably tried to lead me down. Luckily, never took place.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, yes.
Now you're here.
Mm-hmm. I
And
can't
you're
let the
queer.
straights win.
You're here. You're queer. Get used to it.
Exactly. Don't let the straights win. A losing battle.
Oh my god.
They
But
think they're fighting for nature, but they're fighting against nature.
most of them are probably just hiding from their own nature.
Honestly, like I said, that guy from your one job probably wanted to kiss you in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's oh my gosh. My friend was watching Glee the other day, and it was the episodes where Kurt
The bully, the
yes,
football bully who
is
actually ended
getting
up kissing
bullied by
him.
the football guy, and he ends up like forcing himself on Kurt. Yeah,
He ends up in later episodes after they graduate.
really.
Mm-hmm.
See,
They
I
should have done
stopped
that
watching Glee.
as a spin-off. Like, just instead of like continuing it as Glee, done a Rachel and Kurt spin-off with that group, the Santana and
That'd be neat.
the group that went to New York.
Mm-hmm. That
They
would have
should have
been
done that.
neat.
I mean, it's too late now.
Yeah, especially with what's her name?
The actress that played Santana,
No, well, aside from her, but the actress that played what's her face? I'm so bad. I'm
Quinn,
sorry.
Rachel,
Sorry, I can only see her face in
Mercedes.
my head. No, the one who the chick with the big schnoz.
What?
Oh my god, I'm just gonna look up Glee because I'm so bad with names. and you're gonna hate me because I forgot the Leah Michelle
Quinn? Oh, Leah Michelle. Oh,
and the
Rachel.
problematic shit she's been up to, and when she was on the show too.
Apparently, she was very problematic.
Very.
My question is, okay, look at all the cast members here. Why is Mercedes so far down on the list? Like, listen here. She was top notch. Like, she should
Oh my
definitely
god.
be before.
She
Like, Amber Riley should definitely be on the top row. She may, have been like maybe right next to Kurt. Like, sorry,
right.
Darren Christ, you might be more.
Darren Criss, whatever. I don't care about
Like,
him.
you may be top shit now because of the roles you've played since.
Hmm.
But Amber Riley made this show. She should definitely be up there. And Puck, the little pedophile who killed himself, should definitely be closer to the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
They
this
sure
is.
picked the right creep for his role, though. Ugh.
I
He always creeped me out on the show. I didn't like him,
yeah,
and it's all coming. It's all making sense here years later.
full circle.
Uh-huh.
Is that how I know this actor? Oh
What?
my god. Um, Skylar Austin. He's like in the show I'm watching right now.
Oh, okay.
And like I was like, I know this guy. Where do I know this guy?
Did you
And
know he was
apparently
in Pitch
he was on
Perfect 2?
Glee.
He was in Pitch Perfect 2, Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, no, he's So Help Me Todd is such a good show, by the way. If you want to, well, we're not being monetized for that. I just really like that show. But oh, dude, there's so many good shows out there right now.
Take your word for it. I don't watch a lot of TV.
I'm also playing a lot of video games, and one of my uh, games just got released, and I'm trying to get through that.
Okay. You'll have to tell me about it later.
Yeah.
I've been trying to finish getting all the achievements in Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
That game is
It's sad. I know what it
hilarious.
is. I know what it is.
It is hilarious.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry,
hilarious.
whenever they're
I'm like,
talking about, what was it, like paranormal ice truck ghost hunters or whatever, every time I go past that point, they're just, I laugh. I have to laugh.
ironically, I did play Dream Daddy for a while.
I love Dream Daddy.
I forget who I ended up with. I think it was the professor or something, like
Oh, the teacher? Yeah.
the
He was
Latino
like
looking
into
guy.
wrestling. Yeah, he's like into wrestling. He has the problem child in the hoodie.
Another time I played it, I ended up with the ginger.
Oh yeah, him, the one you compete with.
Yeah.
He was the first one I did. I'm sorry.
The ginger.
Yeah, the ginger bear daddy. Yeah.
No,
Uh
so my third option would have been the what was he? He was wearing like a leather jacket
oh
all
yeah,
the time.
Robert. Yeah.
He was
I'm gonna be going for him next as part of the achievement run. I
okay.
should stream it, honestly.
You should 100% stream it.
Oh, I should have been streaming this whole time, but hey, I just figured out PNGtuber because I don't want to show my face out there.
But you could stream it as PNG Theo.
Now I can, yeah.
All right, so I think that is actually winds us up to the end of our streaming here.
Yep, just a short, sweet one here, and not the full hour that we usually do here. It's Pride Month. Go out there, Be proud of who you are.
Take
Exercise
precautions.
caution. Yes.
Have
In
your mace.
any.
Have your have your protective gear. So, because those neo Nazis have been out in full force. Scary
Yes, Neo-Nazis, Proud Boys, all those other
hate
vile
groups.
hate groups, yes. And I'm sure the Westboro Baptist Church will be out there doing their usual
Like,
BS.
you don't have anything better to do with your lives than come to our events and harass us. Like, could you imagine if we started going to their events and protested them?
They'll shoot us.
They would. But,
And they'll get away with it, I'm sure.
100%. They blame us somehow.
Mhm.
All right. So that is it for Alphabet Corner. Hey, gays. Bye, gays.
Bye, gays.
Bye, gays.